Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 31st of August. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and yesterday, well, we pretty much continued the downward trend here on the euro dollar. It, well, it was a bit of a choppy old day yesterday, eventually moving down, but took quite some time about it. Now, we really still in this downward trend as far as I can see. It's run up back to its 4-hourly 8, which it seems to have a bit of um, a liking to for finding resistance. So at the moment, it's still really looking for the downside. Yesterday took so long to try and get anything out of it. It's unbelievable. But today is pretty much the same really until we get to 115 when we get the ADP non-farm payrolls coming out, which will give us at least some volatility, I would expect, some reasonable volatility from that figure this week because of the or this month, because as traders are trying to see what Friday's figures will come out, and it'll give us a sort of a guide. They're pretty poor at giving us great guides, but sometimes they come in somewhere in line, and anyway, I expect volatility around that time. I don't expect much before that time, and we could end up a bit like yesterday, where we just chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped, and then eventually went off later in the afternoon. We could see exactly the same thing here by the looks of things. It could, of course, break in the next hour. We're on the 7 o'clock hour at the moment. It could break down from there. I'm expecting, as I say, pretty sideward movement with the euro. So cable pound dollar, looking at that, and ended up as a pretty much an inside day in the end yesterday. Still not well, just very an overall choppy day in a range bound. I mean, the highs were hit. What was it, 3 times there? Lows, we had double bottom in the morning, so choppy old day. Looking at the hourlies, pretty much sums things up here. We again, the pivots, if they weren't pinched enough yesterday, they're even more pinched today. Already hit the daily pivot, the R1. Maybe if we can get a push or something back towards the highs there, there's a possibility. But again, you get the feeling that we could be just riding in this quieter market, waiting for the news. Dollar yen, well, continue with the upward trend. Yesterday it pushed up quite strong in the end and just continued in that mode, albeit slowly at times. Choppy through the London session there, and it wasn't until really afternoon session when we saw a decent run yesterday. Seeing this a little bit, really waiting for the US to come on a bit more. Well, we've got hourly divergence, but that's been almost ignored. It's pushed back up into that, and in fact, it may even be a bit of hidden divergence kicking in on this low here. It didn't go as low as the prior low there, but the RSI did. So maybe we could be shoving up some more, but it hasn't hit the daily pivot yet. Will it? Well, possibly not. If it that sees out that hidden divergence, could be seeing the R1 first. Aussie dollar. It seems that one of the easiest ones for the downside in some respects. It's been saying since last week when I returned from holidays that we've had these lower highs, lower lows on the dailies. Majority of the time, there's little to hold it up there, and it seems to be wanting to head off back downward. It's already had quite a bit of movement this morning. Again, I expect a bit of consolidation if we run through the morning, just as we saw yesterday between 8 o'clock. It was 1 o'clock before it actually started moving. I wouldn't be too shocked if we saw something along the same lines. And finally, the Canadian dollar. But of course, let's just go on to dailies and just have a look at that oil price and see what's happening. Okay, so oil's been easing off a little bit there. Although finding support, that looks like it could pitch back up from a daily perspective, finding support on the daily 21. Let's have a look back at the Canadian dollar. Okay, so at the moment it's looking here well, strong upward trend at the moment. It depends on what it comes from. I mean, we've had the sort of two shooting stars side by side here, so we'll see how it runs and whether oil actually can hold and start moving up. If that does, we'll most likely see the Canadian dollar actually working from these technical signals we're seeing. Untouched daily pivot below us, so there is the possibility of a break of the low and then move down towards that, and maybe continuation in that route, providing oil, as I say, can continue shoving up. If it doesn't, well, the easiest route would be looking at the little ball flag sort of picture we've got here, and maybe if it occurs after after 8 p.m., 8 a.m. rather, we may get a shove upwards towards the daily R1 there. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. So hope you have a great one. Newswise it said ADP figures 115. Canadian GDP at 130. That comes out monthly, so it has less impact. Although it may, if you're trading the Canadian dollar, be wary of it. Looking below there, we've got crude oil inventories at 130. So another one which could give the Canadian dollar a bit of a kicker at 330. That's it for me. Have a great one. Bye for now.